In today's video, we're going to talk about the top 3 mistakes investors make when meeting with sellers. Now, this is a topic that I'm pretty confident in. We've met with over 1,000 sellers in the last 5 years, ran appointments, met them in their home. Just for our rental portfolio in the past 2 years, we acquired 150 units off market direct to seller. Let's dive right in. The first mistake I see investors make when they go to meet with a seller is that they're not building rapport. So rapport is like the conversation, walls are lowered. My goal when I was personally still running my appointments was to get them to either think of me as their son, their grandkid, or their friend as fast as humanly possible. The reason for that, like the number one rule of sales, is people are going to buy from or sell to someone that they like. If they don't feel like they like you, they don't really feel like they know you, they're not really incentivized to work with you, open up, be honest, or be receptive to what you have to say, right? It's kind of like getting constructive criticism from someone you've never met. It's kind of like your opinion is worthless to me, versus if you have a friend pull you aside and they're like, hey man, that shirt's a little dumb, right? You're probably gonna be like, oh, okay, noted. I probably won't wear this out again. With sellers, it's no different. And it's really interesting just the different things that I've seen kind of like unlock or almost like open up those channels with a seller. So when we're running an appointment, we're looking for a common ground as fast as we can possibly find it. So one of my acquisitions managers drives like a brand new Chevy truck, chromed out, pretty nice vehicle. If he rolls up and they have a truck, boom, good old boy talking trucks, that's immediately where they're gonna go, right? Now, if it's something like they notice they've got, signed football on the wall from the Colts, which is the Indianapolis football team, they may dive in on that. Now, you do want to be careful here when you're building rapport that you build rapport on something you can actually chat about. For instance, I'm not a big sports person, right? So somebody brings up, the Colts or Andrew Luck or something, and I'm kind of like, those 3 words, that's as far as I can go, right? I didn't watch the last game. I don't know when the last time they won a Super Bowl is. So I'm probably gonna be looking for something different. A really good practical example I've got of this, there was an older retiree who we met who was actually wanting to move back to the Philippines. As he put it, he was gonna take his pension, his retirement, and go back and just live like a king for the end of his days, right? And the entire appointment just felt kind of off, like he was really guarded, really distanced. Now, I'm somebody who likes scotch. I don't drink a ton, but when I do, I like a nice glass of scotch. And I noticed he had, Johnny Walker Blue, 8 or 9 bottles on a shelf. And I mentioned, oh, Johnny Walker, you a scotch guy? And it was like immediately the doors opened. He literally pulled out his stock portfolio and was like, I'm a millionaire, and dropped it on the counter. And was like, look at how much I've gotten this and this and this. I'm gonna be totally set for life. I can't wait to go back to the Philippines and kind of just start this next chapter. And we went from this what's your offer gonna be on my house? Kind of this really gruff, standoffish, to he literally was like, look, it's not about the money. It's all about if I can sell to you guys when I want to sell to you and be out when I'm ready to go. I don't want to have to go through inspections or the issues. And he was literally like, look, I'm rich. As you can see, this is not about the money, right? Whereas I think as investors, we tend to assume it is all about the money. And it's kind of like, well, how much do I have to pay you, right? What's the least amount of money I can get away with giving you, right? So that is the number one mistake I see investors make. They go in and it stays at this very surface level, business interaction where there's no relationship. We've had sellers tell us after appointments hey, even if we can't come to terms, we're better off just having met you guys, right? If you're not getting feedback like that, chances are you want to brush up on your rapport. A friend of mine calls it porch time, right? You want to sit there and hang out on the porch with them and really kind of build that relationship. I had one of these actually. It was a super, super rough situation where I was at an appointment, this was years ago, and the seller got the call while I was there that his wife passed away. at like the end of the appointment, right? So super, super rough, just on like a human level, right? Watching like a grown man like ugly cry. And he was like, look, Ryan, I know we don't know each other that well, but I just kind of feel connected to you. Would you mind staying till my kids got here? And I was like, dude, absolutely, right? We're no longer talking about the house. It was just like, tell me about you, your background. It was really just kind of building that relationship. But, and that was actually a deal we did with that guy. Had we not built in that level of relationship, it would have been very like, hey, I need you to go right now. And he would have just like, pushed me out the door, right? So make sure that you are building rapport, getting to know the sellers that you're meeting with. I always tell my staff when they leave an appointment, I want them to know what the person did, what they like, what they don't like, and most importantly, their hot button, right? Why they want to sell. Is it job transfer? Is it divorce? Is it medical bills? Or is it like, yo, I just want to go to the Philippines and ball out for the last 30 years of my life? You've got to figure out what that hot button is. The second biggest mistake that I see investors make, and I am so guilty of having done this, is they disparage the house or the neighborhood too much, right? So if you get an appointment in a C-class area, you may want to keep in mind, maybe they've lived there for 30, 40 years. Maybe these are their people. This is their community that they're very passionate about. Maybe they're not happy with the crime and the bandit signs and the vandalism and all that. But if you're like, did you know how dangerous this area is? They're like, yeah, dummy, I've lived here for 3 decades, right? Or you start to like, yeah, the school districts are really poor. Like, you want to be careful that you don't insult the property. You also want to make sure that you don't chat it up too much, right? So I've been on appointments where it's been like a deal I really want, like an A-class vinyl village, brick, doesn't really need much. And I'm like, the dollar signs are starting to tick of like, man, this is going to be a good deal, right? We actually call that commission breath in our office. When you sound like you really want the deal too much, they start to feel like they have leverage. I don't know if you've ever sold anything like a car or furniture or anything like that, or even a house, right? We're chatting real estate. But if somebody comes in and they're like, oh my gosh, this is my dream house, this is perfect, I'm like, gotcha, right? Like, you're not gonna fight me all that much on price and stuff like that, right? I sold a couple motorcycles back in the day. Quick side tangent. Restoring vintage motorcycles is a great way to lose money. But I sold 2 bikes for way less than I was into them for. And one of the guys who came out to buy one of them was like, oh my gosh, this is just like the one my dad had. Like, man, I've got to have it. And I was like, okay, cool. Like, you're not going to beat me up on price too bad. And when he tried, I just kind of flipped that script. Like, well, you said yourself, this is pretty much in the same condition as the one your dad bought new, right? Yeah, okay, great. Well, I'm really not that flexible, right? So being able to take that and use that. I've had appointments where I've been like, oh wow, yeah, this is a great neighborhood, great property. They're thinking the same things, dollar signs. Okay, cool. This guy really wants this house, so he's gonna pay my asking price, which if you've run any appointments with sellers at all, you've learned that they're not always what I would call reasonable on their asking prices. I've also done the other thing where I've gone in and been a little bit too honest in how I feel about the condition. One thing you'll learn running appointments, almost every seller will tell you like, oh yeah, it's fine, it needs almost nothing. Some of the grossest houses I've ever seen needed almost nothing, according to the sellers, right? So you want to make sure as you're going through a property that you're building in doubt and concern, but you're doing it in a way that's polite and respectful, and you don't cross that line. It's kind of this like teeter-totter. If you've ever played like Splinter Cell or one of those video games where like you're a double agent, you've got to make sure that you've built that rapport, but that they know that the property needs work, but they don't like think you're insulting them, right? So it's kind of this fine balance. One of the ways I've found that's kind of easy to do that is to use words like interesting, right? I'm not like, oh my gosh, gross, right? Or like, ew, or like, wow, I've never seen a cockroach that big, right? But at the same time, we're letting them know that we're noticing things. We have a repair check sheet we fill out as we walk through properties. So we're, oh, okay, cool, kind of taking notes. Interesting. How long has the ceiling been leaking? Oh, okay, is this mold in the basement? Have you had this tested? Like we're being honest and factual without really giving our opinion on it, but we're anchoring them in the fact that this property does need more work than they want. And like I mentioned, I've blown this, right? This is kind of like an art form a little bit. I've had appointments where the seller's been like, well, it sounds like this just isn't going to be the house for you. Because I've said like one thing too far, right? I've also made the mistake of disparaging the neighborhood and being like, man, this is just a super rough part of town. They're like, yeah, well, maybe you shouldn't buy here then. And it's like, oh, I've crossed the line. So you want to make sure as you're building rapport that you don't keep everything like puppies and butterflies throughout the appointment, but at the same time that you don't just crap all over where they've lived for 30, 40, 50 years. Or I've seen a lot of these where it's like a parent's house that they inherited. Could have been like their childhood home. There's some sentimental value. So pointing out like, yeah, there's definitely some stuff that needs to be done to get this thing to its formal glory, or back to its former glory, right? Is way, way better of an approach to take than like, you're aware this is a total gut job, right? Now, I mean, honestly, if it is like caving in on itself and it's a tear down, hey, look, I've got to level with you. The value is no longer in the house, it'd be in the land, if anything, right? So make sure as you're going through chatting about condition that you build in doubt, but not too much. And if it is something that you really, really like that doesn't need a ton, your best bet is going to probably just kind of be to keep your mouth shut, right? Last thing you want to do is to put your foot in your mouth, which is one of my talents, and give them the impression that like, okay, cool, yeah, he's going to offer me what I want. There's no way he's going to come in below what Zestimate is for this house. The third and final mistake that we see investors make is that they do not do what they said they would do. They're not making offers fast enough. They're not following up when they said they would. I was helping a new investor recently after his first appointment with a seller, and he told him, I'll have you an offer tomorrow. Tomorrow passed. The next day passed, and it was day 3. And he was like, any feedback for my next appointments? I was like, well, yeah, do what you say you're gonna do. If you tell them you're going to make them an offer within 24 hours, do it, right? This is still a very new relationship that you've built with this person after running this appointment, building the rapport, chatting about the condition. So you have to build that trust further. And one of the best ways to do that is by doing what you said you would do. If you have somebody else that comes in and makes them a higher offer, but they feel like they trust you or you're really going to be able to get this done, guys, we've bought a lot of deals where we haven't been the highest offer, but they've liked us, they've trusted us, they felt like we're gonna actually do what we say we're gonna do. That's actually one of the things we use when we're negotiating against somebody else on a deal, is we just remind them of all of those things we did. Hey, look, I want to highlight the fact that we're gonna do what we said we would do. When I told you I was gonna be out here at noon, I was out here on time or early, right? I told you I was going to make you an offer within 24 hours. I did. I told you I was going to give you a day to think about it when you asked for that. And I followed up with you like we discussed, right? Now, if you're looking for somebody that's going to execute, this is going to be a done deal, I'm your guy. But if you're kind of like wanting to roll the dice on somebody new, hey, I get that, but what we're chatting about here isn't theoretical. This is cash in your hand, a done deal. So you want to make sure that you're doing what you said you would do. In the same token, if your mail pieces you're sending out or the Facebook ads or however you're getting in front of sellers say, we will make you a cash offer, immediately or on the spot or whatever, make sure that you're doing that. Ours all say within 48 hours. So one of the ways I hold my boots on the ground accountable is you had 7 appointments this week and I see 5 offers. What's going on? Why don't we make offers on 2? Well, they're overpriced. Like, it doesn't matter. You still need to make your offer. That's what we told them we were going to do. We run a business based on integrity. We honor our word. You've got to follow through with that. So quick recap on those 3. Make sure that you are building rapport, chatting about the condition in a cautious way, right? You don't want to ignore it, but you don't want to just like smack them over the head with how gross this house is and you can't believe they live there. And third, you want to make sure you're doing what you said you would do when you said you would do it. So that way they feel like they can trust you and you're really going to get this thing done. If you have any questions, please throw them down below in the comments. I would love to get to those for you. I personally read and respond to all of them. Thanks for your time again. My name is Ryan Dossey. Talk to you guys soon.